And what I notice about those writers who come out of that process is how hard you work. Because I kind of think being in a system that is demanding so much story, demanding scripts so fast, you all have a discipline. Yeah. And just to explain that when you get a first draft of a Russell script, it's astonishing. It's
marvellous.
Oh, it's not always good. It's just got all the headings right and everything's spelt right. But were you taught, or is that something that just came from you all as individuals?
That is part of being a soap opera. In that soap opera factory, it's got to be ready. I mean, with dramas, with 9 o'clock dramas, you can be a week late with your deadline, let's be honest. You can't with a soap, you've absolutely got to deliver it on that day, and that's a great discipline. And it's got to be as ready as it possibly can be. So, yes, I think that's... But then I think once you get to your 9 o'clocky drama sort of stuff, I think that's just me being a perfectionist. I think that's me. I just won't hand something in. And what you get off me is kind of like an 8th draft, because I've just been through it all, and then I go through it again until it's ready. I think it's my job to hand you something that's ready to transmit. Then the notes start, then the whole process begins. But I think it's a failure. If there's a great sort of, if there are any young writers out there and writers who are starting, there's a great thinking abroad these days. People call it draft zero, where you just put everything in, you put everything down, every idea, it's all a bit of a mess, and then you hand it in to Nicola and you sort out what it is. I think that's like an abrogation of duty. I think it horrifies me. It's like, no, don't hand the script in for it to be formed. You should hand in something that you think is transmittable. Then the work begins, but strange process.
And so what enabled you to move from storylining and producing at Granada to writing? Because we're going to show a clip from one of your first ever episodes for Children's Ward, which was Kay Mellor's series, wasn't it, at that time? Or was it
Kay and Paul invented Children's Ward.
And were you always asked to write, or was it something you had to ask to do?
No, I script edited it, and then I produced it, and then I was always dying to write. By that stage, I'd had children's dramas on the BBC. I'd already started doing my own stuff. And I got a deep voice now, I got a bit of a cold. Hello, Nicola.
I like it.
You like it? Hello. And so I'd got a taste of, I knew then, when I had a thing called Dark Season on the BBC, on Children's BBC, and when I very first saw my credit written by T Davies, literally, that was life-changing. I went, oh, that's it. I've been producing, I've been script editing, I've been storylining soap operas. I genuinely went, oh, that's the job. Wow, I never changed.
And Dark Seasons was your original idea?
Yeah, yes. I just wrote yes, I was working in the BBC as a producer, so I wrote a script and handed it in. I kind of cheated. It went straight to Anna Hume's desk. She was the head of children's. Bang, it got made. Got that phone call saying we want to make it, which was nothing ever since it's ever been as exciting as that first phone call saying, well, I don't say you're disappointed, Nicola, but it's nothing ever been that first phone call, ever. So
Children's Ward, and this episode in particular, feels quite groundbreaking because it's 1996 and you're doing a story about
It's about the internet, it's about paedophile killers on the... There was a big fuss about this episode because... it was a big fuss, a small fuss, because it's a story about a paedophile operating on the internet, and I originally pitched the story sort of saying, and then he gets caught by the police, and then Kieran Roberts was the producer. He's a great producer, Kieran, and I said, or you could do, if you really want to be brave on children's ITV, you could do this ending. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, let's have a look.
We'll get away with murder. Hooray! What a great episode. I'm so arrogant. I literally pitched that story and said, this will win a BAFTA. And it did. Yes.
But a mini BAFTA.
Yes, it was. And we made that episode, and Kieran Roberts is a great producer, and no one at Granada had watched it because they don't sit upstairs on the 6th floor watching the children's output until the day before, and Andrea Wonfort watched it and went, what? You what? He doesn't get caught? He doesn't like what? And she phoned Kieran, can we put the sound of police sirens over the end? Can we, something? And bless Kieran, it was absolutely wonderful, and stood there, and I stood there. It's when you learn to be tough, actually. I went, no, that's the ending, because the ending for children is that there isn't always a happy ending. That's why you've got to do the stranger danger stuff, because your cast won't come along and save you in real life. And it was great. It was Granada at its best.
Really
Happy days. I'm glad we talked about that, because they were golden days there.
I was in the distance in London, Granada, looking on wanting to get there. So talking about controversy.
Yes.
Can we talk about Queer as Folk?
Oh, yes.
You talked about the process being in your brain or the stories being there for a long, long time. And it isn't that long ago, I like to think, but it wasn't straightforward, and it wasn't, even though you were an out gay writer, it wasn't expected that you would write a series primarily about gay men at all.
No. And in many ways, I didn't pitch that. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Katrina Mackenzie and Company but Katrina principally, who worked at Granada with me. I was a series, got a period drama called The Grand. It was a bit Downton Abbey-ish, and I did a very, very gay episode of that. It's a story about a barman being gay in 1920, and literally the quality of my writing went like that. Suddenly, it was a better script than I'd ever written before. And Katrina spotted that and said, you should be writing that. I'm going to Channel 4. That's the kind of thing Channel 4 should be making. Do you want to write it? So you'd think in the telling of my life that it's a series I'd always been dying to make. But it didn't occur to me to make it until someone said, that's what it was like in the 90s. The gay drama like that didn't exist.
I think she used a brilliant phrase, which was, you've always written the gay sub-characters.
Yeah.
How about making them the main characters?
Yes.
And that was it. That just, you took off, it flew
And they
from
put us two together, which was a marvellous thing. It was brilliant. Very happy days, weren't they?
And commissioned very quickly.
Yes, bang, wasn't it? Yes, those are the days.
But did you have
40-minute episodes.
Did you have any sense of the impact that it was going to have?
No, we didn't, did we? It's like, let's not pretend not to know each other. We didn't. It's like, because we were making
But I always think you did know more than me. I thought it was a love story about unrequited love, and I thought it was just so lovely, everyone was going to be happy about it. And then we had that first press conference.
We didn't know. Yes, oh my God, that press launch where we were attacked by 200 people. Except Boyd Hilton from Heat, is he here? Boyd was the only person who stood up and said, I like that show. And the hostility, because we didn't show condoms, because we didn't apologise, because we didn't...
Nathan was 15 years old.
And Nathan was 15 years old. That was a tough press launch, wasn't it? But even then, you couldn't have dreamt of what a success it would be, because... it was nuts. We got a gold record. We got a gold record for the soundtrack on the wall of the office, and it was like. Do you remember it went? This is the days of VHSs. There was a bar in Hawaii turning out black market copies of VHSs, and because it was before everything was online, and they were distributing VHSs like mad all the way throughout America. It was just because no one in America would show it. So that was brilliant. That was you went up. Remember, we were all both on every radio station going, weren't we? Night and day.
Points of View. What was the Channel 4 version of Points of View?
Right to Reply.
Yeah, arguing with Stonewall.
Yes.
You really didn't like the series.
Yes. A gay man sat on Right to Reply saying, "I don't know any gay men who take drugs." Come with me. Like that. It was mad, wasn't it? But it certainly, it taught both of us, I think, press and publicity and putting yourself out there.
It taught me to let you do the talking.
But it was hard because it actually taught me to do the talking and to sit here and do stuff like this because it was so politicised. You couldn't expect the cast. The cast would fall into traps in interviews. The cast would be trapped saying, what do you think about gays in the military? What do you think about the age of consent in New Zealand? Stuff that they wouldn't know. And so, because I knew that stuff, I had to step up and do it.